Don't forget to subscribe and become a member of the Bit Squad. As a Bit Squad member, you have the opportunity to win a Nano Ledger S along with 3 Litecoins for the month of January. Just make sure to subscribe, like, and comment on all of our videos in January for the maximum number of entries. All right, we should be live here, guys. Very excited. One of my favorite YouTubers, Elio Trades from FUD Nation, is joining us today. So appreciate you being on. I will say this was definitely one of the first channels I really started getting into. I really like your content. I like the way that it seems to be like kind of a journalistic approach, and I really appreciate that about what you do. So welcome to the channel. Yeah, for sure, man. So I've been very interested in having you on specifically due to kind of what you got going on in the business world in crypto right now. I guess it's an ICO, correct, that you're doing? Right. Yeah, so I know ICO is kind of a dirty word, and just so everybody knows up front, like he's not on here to try to sell you his token. Inadvertently, that may happen, but I want to have him on because I'm very interested. I did a video where I talked about Tron ICOs or token sales and why I think that it's the next big platform to have them. And then of course we had Hashoshi, Forrest from Hashoshi, who's an Ethereum developer, come in and talk about some of the great things about building on Tron and different things like that. So these are definitely some things I'm going to want to get your perspective on. But I'm used to make fun of Tron a lot, and people know that. I've got a lot of funny videos, where I was poking fun. And, when I was out at Nitron last week, I was interviewed by CoinDesk, and that's the same thing I told them. I told them, oh yeah, I can hear you. Uh-oh, we have a sound issue. No sound. Oh yeah, I see it now too. Hold on, let me see here. Why would that be? Why would the sound not be coming on? Oh, I know why. Hold on 1 second. All right, let's see. Don't forget. All right, can you say something? Can we see if that?
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Is BitBoy Nation up in the house? Can they hear me now?
Yes. Okay, we fixed it. Boom. Okay, sweet. Hold on, let me get this off here. There we go. Okay, wow. Okay, awesome. Great. Sorry about that, guys. I've got a new setup. I got a new studio. I'm trying to set up a different array of options for my interview live streams as I do when I do my just one-on-one or my when it's just me. So just a little technical difficulty, but we have it fixed now. So okay, let's go back to the beginning where you told everybody how great I was because they missed that. I'm just kidding. All
right. Well, just to rewind, BitBoy is I'm going to make him godfather to my first child, and I'm going to name all my grandkids after him. He's a good guy. Honestly, hilarious and just a very sound individual. I've had the pleasure of hanging out with him in real life, and it was certainly my pleasure. So thanks for having me on, and I hope to do a lot of cool content with you going forward.
Yeah, awesome. Definitely. We definitely want to have you on the channel again down the road. But today, like I mentioned, you're doing a token sale with it involves Tron Chat and EVO, and we'll get to that in a second. But one thing I wanted to talk about is like I was saying, I was interviewed at CoinDesk at Nitron, and I talked about how I used to make fun of Tron. When Tron bought BitTorrent, that was when I started taking them seriously. And honestly, you're one of the people in the space that I respect like the very most, and that's 100% legit. And when we met at the
thank you, by the way, for saying thank you for the saying.
Yeah. When we met at Litecoin Summit, you mentioned to me, you told me about Tron Chat and what you had going on with it, and honestly, I was shocked. I was really surprised that Tron was what you were choosing to do the token sale on. And so I just wanted to give you a chance to kind of give some perspective to my audience about, why is it that you chose Tron out of all the other projects? Because at that time, especially, that was not a popular decision. There were a lot of people that were, you know the narrative about Tron and stuff like that.
Yeah, narratives are oftentimes pretty one-dimensional, and when things are pretty black and white, that's when things tend to get a bit dicey. I guess I should take a little bit of time just to introduce myself and my background, and maybe you can understand why I think what I think about Tron. I come from a startup tech background. I've built projects mostly starting from the ground level with a couple of guys and an idea. We get initial seed funding, we build an MVP, we move on to Series A or next levels of funding, and then launch and do sort of grow from there. I've had the privilege of working with some very talented entrepreneurs, and I guess when I first started seeing Tron, I cued in on the fact that essentially they had, what I considered core components for success, which was a ton of funding, good partnerships, and sort of connections, funding, and of course, I think there's a lot of the big accusation against Tron is, of course, that they plagiarized the white paper, which I don't want to undersell that and say that it doesn't matter to plagiarize people's work. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying we live in this open source code world where you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can stand on the shoulders of the giants that came before you. And I believed that was kind of the ethos of Tron, was we're going to take what works about Ethereum and try to make it better, try to fix scalability, XYZ. And guys, I'm not litigating Tron. I don't want you to go buy it. That's not I'm not trying to sell Tron here. I'm just saying for me, it wasn't the red flag that it was for a lot of other people. And, what I wanted to see was, okay, when they did put out a blockchain, how does it work? And, I think the last few months have shown that they have an extremely high throughput blockchain. And, for me, when I was looking to build my project and I started the concept around the project, it starts with the same things of how can we generate the right amount of interest, from what sources are we going to get our funding? How are we going to get our first steps to building and becoming a legitimate project, knowing that we as individual humans only have so much capital we can allocate. In order to build stuff, it takes millions of dollars really to build amazing tech. If you want to change and build disruptive tech, you can build GarageBand tech and have it maybe go, but that's more of a sort of shot in the dark and luck than it is to actually have legitimate funding. And so, we on our channel have a big Tron community. I saw the Tron community as extremely rambunctious and very excitable. And at the same time, they had nobody building on them yet. And I saw a blockchain without dApps that was, a community that was excited, very excited for the future. And the only other community that I thought was even an option really was EOS. And I had my CTO, who's far more technical than I, look at both environments. And without a doubt, hands down, they said that they didn't want to build on EOS. And I'm not really the right person to articulate exactly why, but essentially my CTO looked at it and said they didn't want to be dealing with building on EOS. And so the decision kind of made itself. We put out the sort of idea for Tron Chat, and it got swept up by the crypto media. Justin Sun tweeted about it. Everyone started getting really excited about it. And, then we sort of realized we had something exciting for the community, and we wanted to round out the idea, and we sort of created the ecosystem concept for EVO. But yeah, that's how it happened. It's not about Tron being some kind of wonderland that people don't know about. It's just about the pragmatic aspects of a project and how you need a base to build on. And it's not like any of these blockchains are perfect. No blockchain is perfect right now. They're all immensely flawed. But you're looking for the lesser of evils. And right now, Tron actually has an extremely high throughput blockchain when you compare it to other active chains. Is it going to be the one that's the most perfect one forever and ever? I can't obviously say that, but I can say that right now for a developer, it's for a variety of reasons, it's advantageous. And because they have so much in common with Ethereum, there's a familiarity and a base of engineers and talent that I can go and recruit from for people to come work on my project. Oh, you're an Ethereum dev? Come, we can actually use you. Whereas who's an EOS dev that I can go recruit? How long have they known about the documentation for you? Like there's just some pragmatic aspects of building a project. And, for us, we didn't see it as the things that people called out as red flags. We didn't see as red flags. And that was just kind of how it started.
Yeah. Well, the two red flags that people don't like, number one, and I've really been talking about this a decent amount lately is, Justin Sun's not a developer. He's a marketer. And if you look at all the other large cryptos that are doing very well, all of their leadership are developers, whether it's Charles Hoskinson or Jed McCaleb, whoever it is, they're developers. So Justin Sun has tackled this in a totally different way, and people don't like the way that he markets, but that's what he does. The second red flag, obviously, is the white paper, which I do believe was plagiarized. I think most intelligent people would look and say it was. But I've made the argument that at the end of the day, this is a results-oriented business. And even if Tron did plagiarize the white paper, it was a long time ago. They've moved on. They moved forward. If they're able to execute that white paper better, then they're going to win. This isn't some kind of moral or ethical battle. It's results-oriented.
Yeah, and you're looking at an open source world we're in, right? It's not like Ethereum had proprietary tech, right? They put that code up online. It's like I consider it the equivalent of building a wheel, just like Bitcoin did. Ethereum took what Bitcoin did and crafted a new blockchain in its image, and Tron is doing the same. It's not the exact same as Ethereum, but yeah, they borrowed quite a bit. And they're proof of stake. Ethereum's still trying to figure out how to go to proof of stake. So clearly they're not that similar. And then if you look at sort of just what you were saying about marketing, like Justin Sun was like a history major or something. But yeah, nonetheless, like you said, proof's in the pudding, right? I mean, the world's about results, and Justin Sun's building a big community. They have a lot of funding. And yeah, I don't want this to be about litigating Tron being so cool, but it's just as me as a developer, the situation I was in when I was starting the project, conceiving the project, and deciding where to go, it just seemed like our path of our largest chance for having success would be on Tron, and we made the business decision to be on Tron. It was kind of that simple. And like I've said before, like if we get to a certain stage and Tron can't support what we need and we need to move somewhere else, it's not like when you build something, you're forever committed to it. Like it's an irreversible thing. You build your product and then you build the connections to the blockchain. And so we can build connections to another blockchain. So is it going to be that easy? Is it like plug and play? Not quite, but
not yet.
Is it not yet, right? But I mean, I believe that world's coming, and I also believe that it's not. You're talking about maybe 20% of your time and energy respent, maybe not like 100%. So is it a step backward if Tron can't support us? Yes. Is it the end of the world? No. I mean, and yeah, I mean, in the end, we're all trying to find the first real success here in this industry. Nobody's cracked the cookie. So, it's a journey we're all on together. And yeah, I guess I sort of saw the things that Justin Sun and Tron were gonna win with. And I also wish that some of the other projects were a little more, I guess, bold in the way that they market themselves.
And that their communities wish they were too.
Correct.
The Cardano, the Stellar, all of those companies wish that their leadership was more out front. Pushing the marketing. And so I think that's a lot of people are jealous of what Justin Sun has been able to do marketing wise. If you were to compare, Tron to some other projects, like there's other projects out there that probably could do similar things, but Justin Sun's out there able to get the funding and able to get the message out better than anybody else at this point. I mean, he's the number one marketer out there in crypto. I don't even think that's debatable. So
yeah, he's hiring, everyone else is firing. So it's sort of like it's hard to, in the end, you have to operate. Like people just, there's the idea and then there's the reality. And if you look at every successful company in history, could you have known that Google was going to be the number one? Could you have known that Facebook was going to be the number one? It's because of the way they operated. It's not because of their backgrounds or the initial pitch decks they had or how original they were. It's about execution. And unfortunately, we're in a place where the lack of execution has shown itself in blockchain. And that's kind of something we hope to, I come from a much more pragmatic sort of software background where, I'm not on the technical side, I'm on the results oriented side. And to me, it's not about necessarily the prettiest picture. It's about, do you have the users? Do you have them coming back? Do you have them spending money? Do you have a business? Do you have a sustainable ecosystem? And I think that, I understand why people were offended by what Tron did. Totally get it.
I get it
like,
as well.
I
Definitely.
totally get it.
Yeah.
Like, it's offensive to a lot of people who believe this industry is populated by visionaries and artists, and that's great. But now we're in a new phase where the idea has been put out there, but the dream hasn't been fulfilled. So who's gonna take the ball and run it into the end zone? And I'm not saying Justin Sun's the one. I'm just saying, for my project, social media, games, it seemed like the right place to be.
Well, I think throughout history, if we had the internet since the beginning of time, and basically like every news story or every business competition, was out there in the public, like we've probably seen this has happened all throughout history. People have great ideas, and then somebody comes in behind it and says, I like that idea. I think I can execute it better. And those are the people that win. So, well, let's talk about EVO and Tron Chat, because I'm very interested. When I was at Nitron, there was something kind of similar to what you're. Have you heard of Cheese?
I'm not.
Or Contentos? So
Contentos, yeah.
Yeah, so Cheese and Contentos are kind of working together, I believe, in some capacity. But it's kind of similar to the idea of Tron Chat, which is, you can get people's attention by sending them tokens, and then they have the option to respond to you. And with Cheese, if they don't respond within 3 hours, then you get your tokens back. So I didn't. That's something maybe for you to look into. But just give us a little bit about the idea of Tron Chat. And one thing I really want you to talk about, which I thought was really cool, is that this isn't geared to our generation, right? This is geared to the younger generation, because to us, being in late 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever it might be, the idea of sending someone some tokens to get them to respond to you, like, is very foreign. But yet that's the generation that's growing up right now. So I see a real future in this. So you kind of talk about that for a little bit, and how you had the idea and everything like that.
Yeah, and by no means do I mean to insinuate we're the only people who have ever thought of using cryptocurrency to stimulate a social ecosystem. Clearly not, and we just have our own take on it. Having been in the space for a while, we know that it's not the recipe, it's not the meal that you're preparing. It's the chef in the kitchen that makes the dish. And I have the privilege of working with someone that I consider to be, just a truly, truly gifted entrepreneur. And, we understand, the high level, what we're doing. And then it's about the execution. What little pieces of incentive to come back every day, to invite your friends, to get involved, to build more relationships with our product on a daily, weekly, hourly basis. Those are the little levers and the knobs that we're focused on, far more than just creating a chat ecosystem or a gaming ecosystem. And that's, why I think that's what I think separates us, right? Is we see a lot of idealists in the blockchain space, but we don't see the real cutthroat product guys yet. And I think that's the difference. Is we come from a sink or swim product background where we're trying to compete with the Instagrams and the Snapchats on our last projects, and there's no excuses, right? We either get those million users or we're out of business. And so that's great. We see a ton of chat apps coming out rather. And we're sure they're going to try to learn from us as we learn from everyone else. And in the end, what's going to make us survive is getting those users and keeping those users. And so the features and the things we end up opting for, it's not as significant as the effect, right? It's, are we getting the users? Are we keeping them? And are we making, we're realistic, we don't expect for there to just be billions and millions of funding dollars that pour in on us forever. And we're going to spend as if our back's against the wall and really juice the lemon for all the squeeze type thing. We're not going to be wasting money. We're not going to be doing these sort of big showy things. It's just about getting to users, getting to sustainability. And I think what we're going to do might actually truly surprise people, like the directions we choose. But that's just because we are constantly voraciously seeking that information about how people are interacting with products, spending money, and coming back, and why. Like if you look at the top DApps on DApp Radar, DApp Review, you will be shocked to see that it's not a CryptoKitties who's got tens of millions of dollars in investment in A16Z and all the biggest investors behind them. It's like the EOS Knights and the My Crypto Heroes, and their art is, comparably terrible. But why are they having a growing user base? Why are they having some of the highest recurring revenue? The reasons are there. You just have to look for them, and those are the things that we're constantly tracking and understanding. And that hunger to evolve and that hunger to constantly push ourselves to evolve our own vision, I think, is why we'll be successful. But again, it's not about they did a chat app, you're the first chat. It's like, that's not what's going to make anything happen. Chat's been done in the centralized world a million times over. And I think that it takes that real forcing yourself to have no excuses on getting those users and keeping those users is where our mind's at. And to us, we don't see as many of those sort of mainstream entrepreneurs coming to blockchain yet. And that's why it's so exciting, is because we have a chance to hopefully build that first hit blockchain project.
You guys heard that? We're all early still.
So early.
It's so true. I mean, in 2017, near the end of the year, probably people wouldn't have thought that. But this bear market has really shown us, how early, and, not everybody can be like you and go start a blockchain company or, start a project or a DApp. But everybody can do something during this time, and I always encourage everybody to figure out what your niche is and what you can do, because it's not going to be long before all this is oversaturated. We're all sitting in a pretty seat, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, and then there's also the idea of what I'm haunted by is who and when who's going to fix it and when, because I don't see that answer yet. I see people fixing some aspects, but I don't see the actual product side. And I think that that's what's frustrated me into action, which is I know that what I can do with X dollars, I know what I could do with, these different tiers of money. Right. And I've seen the results of what my team can accomplish. And so seeing the amount of waste in other projects has just frustrated me to no end. And, can I guarantee that we're going to be the biggest hit project that's ever hit the blockchain? I could say that, but obviously I couldn't guarantee it with confidence. But I can tell you that I'm damn certain that we're going to do better than these other guys. And so, that's what frustrated me. That's what's made me even start this project, was seeing a bunch of people raise way more money than I've ever had access to in my life for any of my projects and piss it away. And it doesn't make sense to me, because we've built way better projects we've released way better products than they have with way less money. And so, that's just what's I'm coming at it from an angle of, how could this be possible that people have spent $150 million and have nothing to show for it?
Well,
where does
just,
that money go?
It just really depends on whether you feel like coke, strippers, and yacht parties are wasting money. That's really what it all boils down to. That's your perspective. So.
Like, quite frankly, we're probably not even going to get to pay ourselves for, the first year of this project. Like we are fortunate to have had enough success to put ourselves in the position to even try this. But in the end, like we only care about creating a product that sustains itself. And so, we have these visions for what the world could be like. And we've had some success at generating token sales, but we're nowhere near our hard cap. We're nowhere near selling out of our tokens. So, we still have tons of ground to cover. And our goal is to, at every stage, we hit our soft cap, we've hit our minimum goals, and that's great, which means we're going to get an at bat. We're going to get to try to do everything we can do. And we're going to do everything in our power to create sustainability. But, in the end, we see it as the whole boat is sinking. So who here's got an idea? And we have our idea, and so we're gonna do everything we can.
So let's talk real quick about EVO. So just so everybody knows, transparent about it, I actually bought some. I have I use some Tron wallets where it's easy to purchase some of the token sales on Tron, and so I did buy some because I believe in what you guys are doing. I believe in you and also your CTO. So I definitely think it's cool. Shout out Crypto Pioneers. What's up? Good to see you there. Got a super chat. But, talk about, because you've got Tron chat, but you've got a token called EVO that's going to be running it. Cool. And also want to say, is there a fake Tron chat token sale?
There was, man. And there
'Cause
was.
I did a video and I said, "Oh, there's Tron chat," and then somebody was like, "I think that's fake." So
It sucked. We tweeted about it. We tried to tell people that it was, a scam. We created our sort of initial pitch to the world, and we put it out there, got swept up, went kind of semi-viral, I guess, and we got thousands of Twitter followers. With like 2 tweets, we got thousands of Twitter followers. Or like 1,600 Twitter followers. We got, which on Twitter is wild. And Justin Sun's tweeting about it. We're getting 40 different articles written about it, and we were saying, hey, we have this concept, we have this initial foundational code base, but we need a ton of help. Let's help us get the word out and do this. And then before we knew it, people were scamming, selling our tokens, which we hadn't created, because we believed that if we were going to create a token, we wanted it to fuel more than just one DApp. And that's what the EVO token is about. So we have Tron chat, as well as, if you read our white paper, we have sort of 5 different initiatives that we're looking to build. And so, the EVO token is, if sort of shared between those, and the idea is that it increases the value add for that token, as well as increases the chance that any of those products will end up being that hit. And so we have spread them out from we have the collectibles marketplace, which feeds into Tron chat, connected through Tron chat. We have our original collectible in game, which is kind of like our first step, because the original collectibles can be self-sustaining, revenue generating. The game we can market with through something called Tapjoy. We can make a mobile game, market it through these games ecosystems, get downloads for 10 cents, which you cannot get for a blockchain product because you're marketing to such a small targeted community. So we have plans as to like our first, second, third, iterations of this ecosystem. And that's why EVO is just about evolving the standards. It's about everything we do it with the intention to lower barriers to entry, target mainstream audiences, and do it with a tremendous quality. And so the DApp evolution ecosystem, powered by the EVO token. Tron Chat's one of our projects, a very expensive project, which we hope to build. But right now we're looking at our minimum targets will allow us very little breathing room in getting Tron Chat done. So, again, like, we're so blessed to have gotten to this stage, and we still consider it, we still feel very much so early on in the game, and we're hoping to generate a lot more interest in the project for us to accomplish our goals. So, but what we have is, now we know we can accomplish the sustainability from our collectible and game ecosystem, and that's what's exciting about it. Is everything we put out is the goal is mainstream adoption, generating those mainstream new users, like you were saying, the next generation, a product, like they would say, the sort of simple, stupid user interface where the 60-year-old and the 12-year-old can use them, or the 8-year-old can use it easily. And it doesn't have to be some deep techie crypto person who has done all the difficult tasks of setting up wallets and managing their funds and buying and then transferring and trading. And it's cool, but it's also so limiting if your product requires someone to have MetaMask, Scatter, or Tron Link. So we're trying to lower those barriers and create a new standard, and that's what EVO is about. And Tron Chat is one of our visions, and we have several visions that we're hoping to realize with this project.
Yeah, and I think it boils down to, you've done a really good job with your channel, and I think that you haven't done any sponsor content on your channel or anything like that, and I think that's helped you to kind of build trust with your audience. And now that this is a prime example of why you want to build something in the space, because you've built a brand for yourself and for FUD Nation, FUD TV, and now you're able to use that to kind of propel your project forward. And I really like the way that you've done that. So we've got a hard cutoff here. I've got another thing I've got to go do right after this. But we definitely want to have you back on the channel when we have a little more time and we can kind of talk crypto in general. But I do want to give I want to give you a chance to kind of tell everybody where they can find you, and also if they're interested in your token sale, how they can go about that.
Yeah, obviously you could check us out, DApp Evolution, but we have a live ecosystem. We built and launched a product already, so you can use our token in our product ecosystem already. No other, I don't know any other developers that actually do that. And so, we've already done, we've put everything aside in our lives to create live products that use these tokens before we even had our token sale. So yeah, it's all about having a genuine utility token come to life of nobody's actually created utility in a product. So that's why it's about the users, because, you know, it's not about some stupid game where you give me, I give you a token that magically turns into 100 tokens. Like that is a scam. That's some weird investment scheme. That's like some shady business. We're just trying to create awesome products that have users in them and have a token power it. Like that's the vision that we've heard people trying to create for the last 2 years, and it hasn't come to life. And so we're hoping to change that narrative. We're hoping to really prove that a utility token is a thing. And it seems to be that everyone's wanting to run away from the concept of utility tokens because they failed in the past. And to me, that's it's a bit sad, because security tokens, people don't realize, are not for average investors.
They're not. I've been trying to tell people it's the most overhyped thing in crypto is STOs.
Yeah, it's STOs are not for the average person, and you're going to be investing without an asymmetric sort of risk profile. You're going to be investing with a percentage gain of possibly 5 to 15% in a year, with the possibility of losing it all. And you don't know whether those tokens have already been inflated drastically by the time you're getting them. So you're probably not an expert in the field you're going to be investing either, like real estate or something. So it's just one of those things where STOs sound cool. They're going to bring a lot of actual financial weight onto the blockchain. But, you know, I feel like a lot of people in this movement are really excited about the utility tokens and about these cool products and ecosystems that can be created with crypto assets. And so we're hoping to realize these goals, right, that haven't been realized yet. And we started, unlike others, with an active ecosystem, and our goal is just to push it forward.
Yeah, that's good. I definitely, whenever we get you back on the channel, that's definitely a whole nother conversation I'd like to get into with you, with these people that all of a sudden, you know, think utility tokens can't work. And definitely STOs. I've been telling my channel for a while, most overhyped thing in crypto, you're not going to be able to invest in it. You have to be a $100,000 accredited investor. So if you guys are like real excited about STOs and you're not an accredited investor, then you're going to have to think twice. So, well, cool. Well, thank you so much, Elliot, for coming on and talking EVO and Tron chat. And everybody, Bit Squad, thanks for joining us. We will talk to you guys later.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Very much so my pleasure to come on.
All right. We'll see you.